hello out there wherever you are. As for me, well, I'm unexpectedly here at steelcitycon. This is the first of 3 cons for 2023, and I'll be honest, I usually go to every steelcitycon, but had no plans to go to this one. And it wasn't that I didn't want to meet people there. I did. It's just there were a few people I was kind of curious about, and people I would have liked to have met. But to be honest, I went a bunch of places at the start of this year and kind of blew through the vast majority of my Steel City budget, as I generally save some money for these cons, but it is an admittedly lighter con than the past few. And I guess it's more niche. I guess it depends on who you, obviously if you want to meet certain people, this is the con for you. The people that I would probably have met this time around or wanted to meet this time around, one of them was Kelsey Grammer, but he was only there on Saturday, and I expected to be out of town all Saturday. Turns out I wasn't, but I wasn't able to make it Saturday. And I was kind of wavering on what to do, to be honest. And so I made an impromptu. I was watching WrestleMania, and that ended. It was about midnight, and I was like, you know what? And I just bought a ticket. I just bought a random ticket. I asked my son, I'm like, hey, you want to go to this one? He's like, no, not really. He's nobody I'm really like super interested in. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So my plans for today, the people that I'm trying to get, and I'll be honest, the parking lot's a little light. Don't ever attempt to park near the convention center anymore. I've given up on that dream, because I usually don't get there until it's like 11 a.m. now. So, so I parked at the mall, and the mall parking lot was not nearly as busy as it's been the last couple cons I went to. So it may be a lighter one, so I may get a chance to get everybody, but the people that I'm attempting to get today, and we'll see how this goes, are Jenna Elfman, Fear the Walking Dead, and all the way back Darman Greg days, Ed TV, a bunch of other stuff she's been in. The elusive, the unicorn that is Randy Quaid, and I actually did grab a photo op with Michael C. Hall, Dexter, and 6 Feet Under, and so much other stuff he's been in. So that's my 3 targets today. I'll be honest, this is a very loose feeling con. This kind of feels like the old days of Steel City Con, where you'd show up one day, you didn't have to go multiple days, you just show up one day, get the people you want to get, hopefully get the people you want to get, and be on your way. These mega cons that Steel City's been putting on as of late, with so many people that you'd want to meet and get and stuff, that, there's times where you're like, man, it's very conflicting to determine, okay, I have the budget for this person. I'd love to meet all these people, but the budget only allows this person or that person. So I have those 3 people pegged. If we get anybody else, great. I'll maybe try to do some filming inside, because I'm not getting any autographs. That's the other thing. Most of the people that are here at Steel City this time, their autographs are not mega rare. Maybe the most rare would have been Kelsey Grammer, because you don't see a lot of his floating around, but Nancy Cartwright has done some signings, Michael C. Hall's done some signings, Jenna Elfman, I guess you don't see a ton out there, but most of the people are pretty much stuff that you can get. Randy Quaid, you can even get stuff, he's done signings as well. So it's more just the photo ops for me. I usually do this video in my basement after the show and show off celebrity experiences and meetups and stuff like that. I'm not really have any pickups to show off, or maybe a limited one. So we're just going to go in there, maybe film a couple things, talk about the experiences, and see how it goes. But let's go check out Steel City Con, March, April 2023. And surprisingly, Tom was here.
Hey, how do you like this? I'm Danny Israel, and you're watching Tom Was Here.
I always park over near the mall now. It is just not worth. It is not worth the hassle to get in and out of that parking lot. It's definitely lighter than the last time I went. Of course, I went on a Saturday. Undertaker was there for one day. And the people, I'm on a Sunday today, so the people that were there for one day are gone. There's quite a few people, actually, that are not here for the Sunday. So I do see the parking lots are a lot lighter than they were in previous times. So, you know, maybe it'll be a lighter day. Maybe I'll be able to get everybody I want. We'll see how it goes. Just walked past the hotel. There's not a giant line hanging out of it. So either they figured out a way to organize it better over there, or it's not really as busy as it has been in previous times. So we'll see how that goes. There's someone I want to meet at the hotel. See if I can get in the Randy Quaid line for a photo op. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know how busy he is, to be honest. As stated, I wasn't even planning on being here, so unlike previous years, I have no prep work put into this. This is going to be an old school feel. All right, we have officially arrived. We're wristbanded up, and it's time to go in. All right, not nearly as busy as previous ones. I can already tell already. Could be because of organizing or planning, but it's just not as busy for sure.
And that sense of her being able to release from him, he does at the end. Anyway, yeah, that's it's good. Let's give the ghost some agency.
And compared to previous ones, not nearly as busy back here. There was times where you wouldn't be able to see the carpet. There was just wall-to-wall people. This time, not nearly as busy. Not even close. Generally, always find my way back here to the previous show's autograph table to see if there's anybody of note. Anything interesting? I feel like I just walked in on something here. Oh, yeah. Perfect. The original Trinity Killers pants on screen. John Lithgow. Look at those pants. Fantastic. Is that a Michael C. Hall autograph thing there? I would assume. Too far to the right or left, okay? So I just ran into my friend Mario, and we went halfies on a Randy Quaid selfie, which was awesome. Listen, he's a unicorn. You can't find him anywhere. So the rare treat, the rare no gloves version of Randy Quaid, actually, we caught him coming back from a photo op with no gloves. Conspiracy amongst conspiracies. I don't even know where to begin.
It's the Randy Quaid conspiracy. He conspires to conspire. The man's a decent human being.
Yes.
Who is afraid of germs and protects himself.
That's a very good point. How do you even unpack that? You can't. You literally can't. Okay, so first impressions kind of walking in, decidedly lighter. Definitely old school feel, to go back to the cons where, you know, you could kind of get everybody in a day. And for the most part, we did get everybody in a day. I walked up to, walked right in. Jen Elfin was there. There's only a few people in her line. So I went and did photo op with her. Super nice. Very, very kind, to me. She, like I said, super friendly, and she's been in a lot of stuff. Usually when people are in that wide variety of stuff, they usually charge a little bit more. So I was happy to have got a photo up with her and got that quick out of the bag. Went into the Dexter panel. There was a ton of people in that panel, so I kind of filmed from the back. So if it's a little shaky, I apologize on that. But, you know, normally don't film too much footage inside the con, but I'm going to try to do that more and more as of late. This one was kind of like a trial run just to see how that went. Usually when there's a ton of people around, I don't want to just like randomly kind of carry my camera around and be like, hey, you know, here, let me shove this camera in your face, even though you weren't anticipating that. I don't do that invasively, but I mean, just walking around with my little tripod of thing. Some people get like weirded out by that, and I get wary of that. So I try to film around people, which is very difficult in a place with that many people, even though it was lighter. So filmed a little bit of the Dexter panel, did some walking around with like the vendors and stuff. I probably could have filmed more of that stuff, but didn't. And then was walking over to see how the lines were at the hotel. And ran into my friend Mario. Might have seen him if you watched like my Dan Aykroyd bottle signing. He popped up. He saved my space in line. Cannot thank him enough for doing that, back in that day. But he was heading towards the convention. I was heading towards the hotel. He said, hey, who are you going to see over the hotel? I said, I'll see what Randy Quaid's prices were. And he's like, I'll go in for half of it with you. And I'm like, oh, even better. Even better. So we checked and saw what the prices were. $80 for a picture. So it's like, all right, 40's way better. 40's great. So yeah, I was happy to do that and did get a picture with the elusive unicorn that is Randy Quaid. And I'm fully convinced now that the Randy Quaid that you see online, especially the Randy Quaid as of late, and the Randy Quaid you see in real life are two very different people. I think he's putting on a show, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that's not part of his personality. Obviously, you know, if you look through the history of, you know, some of the stuff with him, the Randy Quaid that I met was very friendly. Very kind to me and my friend Mario. Very kind. You wondered what version of him you would get. And happy to say that it was very humble and quiet version of Randy Quaid that you know, like more the Cousin Eddie type, I guess. Not even Cousin Eddie because he's more boisterous, but more the reserved Randy Quaid than the online version of Randy Quaid. So, it was cool to have met him. You know, obviously the man has been in so many things, just an absurd amount of things. You know, every time I go to a con, I do a quick little YouTube search, and I was like, if I remember like Randy Quaid movies, and I was trying to go back to see like what stuff like he would, you know, and I was like, obviously there's the stuff you remember, Cousin Eddie, of course, and stuff like that, but it's like what stuff was like deeper cuts. And for me, the couple that really shined out was Major League 2, where he played every Pirates fan. I mean, he was an Indians fan in the movie, but he played every Pirates fan imaginable, where he's like, turn the lights off, get the bulldozers in here and turn this place into a parking lot. That is every Pirates fan. You lousy bums. You overpaid weenies. He was perfect in that role. And the other one was Moving. The Richard Pryor comedy Moving, which there's a ton of people in. If you haven't ever seen it, it is a classic like 80s style comedy with Richard Pryor, but Randy Quaid plays his annoying neighbor, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant. You know, not even to get into things like Kingpin and stuff. The dude has been in so many things. And when someone has been in so many movies that you enjoy, you have to throw in on that at least, a photo op at least. You know, obviously, you just wondered like, okay, well, he's here. You know, what's the demeanor? What? And I'm not saying he was very friendly, shook his hand, very kind. Interestingly enough, he was wearing gloves for everybody, like surgical gloves, for everybody. And I guess, you know, it's maybe something about not wanting to be sick or whatever. But, you know, we caught him before as he was coming back from a photo op. He didn't put his gloves on, just shook the hand, you know, so a non-gloved hand. Anyway, but he was kind to us. We didn't have a problem with him. He was great. And then the only other thing I had on my agenda was a photo op with Michael C. Hall. Dexter, of course, but then there's 6 Feet Under. My friend Mario was telling me about him in Documentary Now, where he plays a pro bowler. I got to check that out. I haven't watched that episode of it, but I'm planning on checking that out. But yeah, I've noticed that everything was a lot more organized than in previous cons, and that, you know, they kind of limiting what was going on in the hotel, and, you know, they arranged it nice in a way, but it was also a lighter people. And Steel City is good about getting people that don't normally do cons to kind of do them. So, there might be some interesting names there that would be cool to meet. But I've noticed with the rotation, like Shatner's going to be back in August, and I met Shatner at Wizard World. I got an autograph from him at Steel City. The man's a treasure. He's in his 90s. He's still doing it. He looks great. But I don't necessarily need to meet William Shatner anymore. I've done it so many times at this point. But, it's still Captain Kirk. People are going to come out to meet Captain Kirk. And there's things like that where it's like, okay, the dude will draw. He will for sure draw. Fine. The point being is, I've reached the point where it's like, I'm going to be 40 at this point. Where do you cut the line off of like, okay, maybe I've met all the people I'm going to... No, I don't think it's that way. But it's like, what is somebody that's going to get me out to really want to meet them? Who could they possibly get? Could you get some local guys? Could you get a Jeff Goldblum, which would be a for sure? Could you get a Michael Keaton, which would be insane? I'm sure it would. He's Batman. It would be absolutely insane. I would be terrified of what they would charge. Goldblum, I think, would be fairly reasonable. He's done some cons before, so that seems the more likely of the two. But Keaton, what could he possibly charge? And what would I be willing to pay? That's the terrifying thing. I think when they announce these guests at cons, you're like, okay, what are they charging? What's the limit of what I'm willing to pay? If they don't mesh, I can't do it, but I'll have deep regret, and I'll waver, and I'll second guess myself. Happened with The Undertaker. I'll go back and forth. I'm like, yeah, but I watched him since I was a kid, and I don't know what to do. What should I do? Should I not? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe. In this circumstance, you got everybody we wanted to meet. And it was relatively easy. Like I said, this Sunday was more of the lighter Sundays that I kind of remember in cons past. A few years back. When Sunday was the one day you would go in, you'd meet the people you want to meet in a couple hours, and you'd be out of there. So it felt very much old school in that way. That'll do it. Steel City Con, just a Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. And we did it. We went through, like I said, a lighter Sunday. We got in. I got all the people I wanted to get. Big thank you to Mario for splitting the Randy Quaid with me. It was absolutely justified the cost for that. Plus, it's funny. I've done a ton of things with Mario, and, we've been to different events together. Never took a picture together. So why not have a picture with the unicorn that is Randy Quaid? With the very elusive Randy Quaid. So, that's an incredible first picture there. And, I've known him forever. It's cool to have an all-time picture there. And thank you for Mario for, talking with me. And to be honest, blame Mario. Blame him for the lack of footage inside, because I was actually me and him were just talking away about stuff. Because I only see him, it seems like, at these cons. And that limited the footage that I was able to get inside. Because I only got a little bit of it. But the idea is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Was there anybody you met at Steel City Con this time? And what were your thoughts on Steel City Con? Were there names you wanted to see, people you wanted to get? Or a few others I might have met, if money's no object, you might throw in a few bucks to meet this guy or that guy. But ultimately, I just decided, okay, it's these three on an impromptu visit with a limited budget. I'm going to make this work. And I was happy to say that it was very easy to do that. Like, I was no trouble, no super long wait. At the same time, I'm torn because, okay, you don't have a super long wait, but there's also not a ton of people you want to meet either. So there's kind of a give and take there. If you want bigger names, people that are like must meet, you also have to wait on longer lines, deal with parking further away, and all types of different stuff in between. So, what do you do there? But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on a couple things. One, did you meet anybody at Steel City Con this time? Was there somebody you were going there to see? What was your interaction with them? Did you like them or so? I've never had a bad experience at a Steel City Con. So everybody's been super kind, just very, very kind to meet, friendly. I've heard some horror stories about people that have met people and they were just not very, they just sign your stuff and they're just on their way. I've never had that at a Steel City. So I can honestly say that. Everybody I met there has been awesome, cool to meet. And that was the case with with Randy Quaid, with Jenna Elfman, with Michael C. Hall. They joined that long list of people that were just awesome, friendly, super happy to be there. So can't say enough about that. But the other thing was, for some of you, you've watched the basement videos and stuff, and you know, just like a recap, showing off who I met, showing off what I got. But do you like the basement videos better, or do you want me to start actually filming at the con? Filming some of the vendors, filming some of the other stuff? Just let me know your thoughts. Like I said, there was kind of a sample size version of it. I was testing things out just to see how it went. So there's not a lot of con stuff, but just curious your thoughts in the comments down below. I also wanted to show off, you know, as is tradition, I do get the boy a ring. You know, he was like, well, I don't really want to go this time, but if you find a ring, and I searched the table, there's two tables, one in the middle on the right side that has them, and then one on the far end on the left side that has like Super Bowl rings. And I looked at both of them, and I wasn't particularly impressed with their selection. But I did find, because he wants like Super Bowl or anything but hockey, is what he said, which is a shame because they had a beautiful Penguins one there, and that's his loss. But you know, we harken back to a time when the Pirates were good. It's been a long time. I had never experienced it myself, but I have here got him a 1979 Pirates World Series ring. Look at it glistening in the sun here. I don't know if you can see it well. 1979. It's a Bill Madlock, We Are Family, Pirates World Series ring. He doesn't have a ton of World Series rings, so that's pretty cool. That was my pickup. That was my pickup on an impromptu visit. I looked at the autograph table. I didn't see anything particularly exciting this time around. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon like John Bailey did, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a Tomwashere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, and the Pennsylvania Autograph Collectors Association. Links are in the description below. But when it comes to SteelCityCon, March, April 2023, I can surprisingly say, because I didn't expect to, that my name is Tom and I was here. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Bye, everyone.